closer so you can see better. Right? So obviously, there is some sort of tissue connection from this point of her body and that point of her body. Right? This is not floating independently in space. So therefore, it should be philosophically possible that I can reach that point of her body. You see how I'm doing that? So I am, through touch, intention, able to manipulate her center's position in space. See that? Okay. So I can't just aim it any old way. And I don't need a super grip to do it. You don't need that. You can do it with finger. Okay? I'm not saying do that, you're doing that martially. I'm just saying philosophically it's possible. Physiologically it's possible. Okay? So it's very much like the Atemi drill. If you're going around her mass, you're pushing like that. You're not connecting to her center. So when you do this technique and you go like that, you see how I'm going around her. And you are now dependent upon this holding her. You want to find her center. In the last one, I was here, pushing like this. Right? In this one, I am pushing like this. I'm not doing this. Boom. Center. Some ways you know. When I go like this, you see how she rolled right off where her knee was. Pay attention to this knee. Mark it in space. You see? When you project your center in the last class, did you notice, Buke, that your feet got moved before you fell? Same thing, watch. She's moving about that far when she starts using the knee as the fulcrum. Okay? And the better that we get, the less they start absorbing in the shoulder, like she did. And you get more center engagement, which conditions me more. You see that difference? Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Center. Whoa. You guys see that? Okay, so let's just try to give that some direction. Just like the Atemi drill. Feel his mass. You see that? Don't go shy. Shy. Position. Move his mass. Just like you can find his center from here, you're now finding it from here. Do you see this way? Do you guys see that? Right. So it's just you're finding it now, not with your fingertips, but with the forearm, wrist area of your body. Got it? Okay, let's bring that in. I'm not going to go around his center. I'm going to connect to his center. Okay? Yeah. I'm moving his center. It's not a figurative thing. Connect to his center. I have his center. You get it? Okay. Now, the mechanical assumption is that their energy is going to go from me and into his center which now if I displace his center, I will displace him. If there's any leakage of that energy, there'll be less displacement of the center. Okay? So, you can think of it as a fire hose. The hose is very full of pressure, and it's all going in the direction I want it to go. If you start poking holes in that hose, it doesn't come out very powerful at the other end. That's very much like this. Energy is being absorbed because I can't hold that angle. It's made too weak. So I go here and I go to push it, and it's letting energy go out because my elbow is outside of my shoulder. I start fine here and I go like this, and energy can't go up because it's so weak going down. You get that? If you look at these two patterns, that's not the inward spiral. The inward spiral is doing that shape. So this can't be it. Boom. Boom. So his hand would not be in that position. Even if I was strong enough, this is not the pattern that's going to get me tactically sound. Even if I can manipulate enough, this is not tactically sound because he has a lot of position, balance, base still. What I want to do is start picking him up. You see that? You guys see that? Okay. So, no, don't start here and then go like this. You're picking him up. Oh, scoot out of the way. Oh, you see that? There's no energy coming out of my arm. And if there's no energy coming out of my arm, here's the weird part. Okay? It doesn't take as much energy to displace him. So my arm can be relaxed. And I'm not muscling. Okay? So those who have the pattern, I'd like you to start having faith. Take your overt muscle segmentation out of it. The rest of you are working on this pattern. And the best way for that is for honest ukemi. So I am pushing from my center, and I take every yin opening he gives me. I'm not countering him. I'm not going like this. Okay? I just keep the connection. Oh, yeah. Got a little bit, right? Right. Got a little low on you. Right. Yep. Okay? Let's go. Try to keep it open. And pull your hand back. And now feel where her center is. Power. That's for power. You need power. Right? And as you need the power, you're actually weaker. That's what it's saying. If you didn't have the need, it's because you're not weak. They will inverse this thinking. Meaning, well, it's when you wanted the power that you didn't have it. The want made you not have it. And that's what you're actually seeing here. So you want her to go flying like you went or like you saw, and you go like that, you see? Well, that challenged my arm. You get it? Or you want him to go far like you saw. So you extend your arm. You get it? You just hold the form. Don't go for extra. It's just the form. 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 Touch. Do you guys see that? Well, if you see my arm fall at the end, it's not the same thing as extending it. Pay attention to where is she when my arm falls. Right? Okay? She's over there, right? If she's in the air, draw. Draw. Do you see? There's time now for that. This is occupying her as much as me. I can't draw. If I go to draw, it's going to be yin space she can fill. You see? Okay? Try to stick to the form. And it's heavy and it's solid. And I feel like I made a good purchase. That bar is not screwing with me because it's heavy and solid. Okay? So your uke is not screwing with you when they're heavy and solid. They're doing their job. Got it? So don't let them pull you because that's where you start those power lusts. Okay? You want a big, heavy, solid bar. This is just conditioning exercise. Let's go. So, I'm here. Do you feel me? Right? So, when I'm uke, I should be able to displace her. Okay? She has to reconcile it. Whoa, there it is. Do you see? Okay, that's the one where she goes here. You already go, I'm supposed to take the kid. No, you're not. You're supposed to be a freaking bar that's worth buying. Okay? You understand? Okay, let's go. Good. That does something else. It's percussive. Okay? So very much like if I hit, I don't hit like this. You see that difference? So you guys are throwing like this. It's no, all relaxed. The percussion. So just like a flexion. Just like you were gonna hit someone. You got it? There's too much it's called fixated movement. You want ballistic movement. Internally ballistic movement. Externally fixated movement. Okay? So this is all moving. I have not flexed yet, and boom! I will flex my stomach just like boom, I'm going to throw a reverse punch, or someone's coming to hit me in the stomach, and I flex it to right. It should feel like that, and it's not like that. Like this. Percussive. Boom. Okay, let's go. Okay. You guys are going. Watch. Option A. Option B. What's the difference? What is it?
Body movement.
Body movement. So every yang is the part you're lusting after is only made by the yin. So the yin is this. Then you have the yang. This is yang only. And you can see the energy goes up. Right? There's less energy, yang only. You bring the yin into it, yin, more energy. Then also more conditioning. So, because if I'm weak when I do this, then his energy comes, oh, you see? So it's conditioning me. Boom. 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 Okay, let's try it. Review what I'm doing. I'm learning the inward spiral. Okay? And I am using the task of projecting her to test whether my hose is leaking. Okay? So that's what we were doing, right? I'm projecting. What I'm going to do now is take the percussive center employment and put it right at the end of the yin space. So as opposed to me pushing her, she runs into me. I bring her up. No more of this. See that difference? She hits and hits that foundation. So she's pushing. pushing, and I bring her into it. Okay, let's try advantage. So look at the relationship between my elbow. It doesn't go like this. Oh, my elbow will not be here in space, but the relationship to my torso will stay the same. Do you see? So it won't go like this. Here, stays the same. Back. Just wrist one. Wrist one. You're letting me out. Do you know what I mean? No. Okay, so when I come back and this energy comes, you're taking it in your shoulder. Okay? Back. See it? Okay, so when I go full speed, what do you think's going to happen? What's going to happen? You're going to get hit in the face. Does everyone understand? Okay. So, Papa didn't understand. You can't take these things. You gotta push, and once you start falling, don't go internal. Okay? No. No, keep working. Okay. Height. See that? That's totally different. You can go to a ton of arts, and you're going to see this movement. You're only going to see this in the McDojos. Okay? Do you understand? So people are trying to do the other one, but they're doing this instead. But this movement, right? So you don't want this movement. So let's just do a speed to my face. Oh, okay, and I'm going to go here. Not this. You see that? I'm absorbing in it. Dude. You got me. Okay, let's try it. Right, every Aikido person will go, I got karate flashing. You know what I mean? Okay, and you go again. Oh, okay. And they go, you're not going to be strong enough because he's going to have his force on force. It is, right? The energy is going this way, and I have taken a conflicting angle to it. And it will require me to be stronger than you to stop that. Okay? So he does his karate block. Oh, but if I have my mask, oh, right? Then yeah. You can't win the conflict. If you can win the conflict, hey, good. It works. Well, his face is coming in. Isn't that a clash? Right. Isn't that your energy and my energy? Right. Yes, it is. But you don't see Aikido people going, right? That's a karate clash. And again, it'll only work if I can generate more massive impact than you. Okay? What we're doing is something different. So his head is going to stop sooner or later. Got it? That's when I should hit it. So the energy's not coming this way when I make contact. So that's why it looks like he runs into my fist. You see that? It's not this. You see that difference? Here is being too far past the sweet spot. You see that? So I time it. I'll show you. John, hey. He does the same thing. You see that? It's a killing blow. Do you see that? In the midst of his blow. This is a lot of skill. We're in tight. He runs into them. You see that? I go again. I guess, maybe. But that's not the skill we're doing. Here. What you want to displace is done how? When I want to displace him, how do I do it?
With your body.
With my body. So we hit that sweet spot and I come in with my body. You see that difference? So not here and I just block him. I am absorbing boom in absorbing boom in. That way his feet start coming up. Because I'm allowing him to come in, his feet will come up, his head will go back, and then the true target reveals itself, the back of the head on the street. Okay? Let's go. Yeah. Kendo. You have to learn this. Do you understand? You have to learn how to put aggression into your physiological form. So that you can learn how to separate anger and fear from presence. If your Aikido is always at, you are just hiding that you're still slave to fear. Okay? So we need you to, boom, you come in, but inside there's no hatred, there's no fear, there's no anger. It is just pureness. Okay? Let's go.
Yes.
Did you come in?
No.
I stopped you, didn't I?
Hi.
So that's not it.
Hi.
How do I get you to come in more? It's way simpler answer.
Give them more room.
You let them. You let them. You guys are not letting them because you're afraid. You're holding them out there.
Okay.
You want them to come in. You're like the Venus flytrap or something, or the hunter. Come on, come on, come on. Right? So that takes courage. So I let you in, boom, I'm going to hit you with everything, okay? Because you're all afraid, so you're holding them out. And there is no, it's now it's going to be strength on strength, speed against speed, and they have the initiative. You're not going to do what you think you're going to do. So let them in, okay? Go. Right? She's going to do a bad fall. So she can come back and try to figure it out, or she can come back and go, can you slow down? But she can't get a free one like that. Okay? You're going to have to pay that fall, fix it, or come and ask for mercy. Okay? Mercy's fine. But this is not fine. Because this is, you're not training, she's not training. Okay? But you think it's staying in place because it's pissed off? No, it's not staying. It just is the mountain. Okay? So when I enter in, I should enter in like a mountain. I should not be entering in and following. Okay? That means I'm not in training. So I just go and I'm not following. Right? I'm still fighting. You see that? Boom! Boom! I can still drop. I'm not busy. You got it? Okay. He goes. Boom! Should be able to stop. Boom! Mid-foot. Boom! Okay? Let's go. You understand that psychological necessity of having presence separate from anger and fear. Okay? This had its roots in the battlefield. And battlefield arts are team-oriented because teams win. You fight 5 individuals with 3 coordinated people, they're going to win. The 3 coordinated people will win. And that's not a special thing. You kind of realize that just in the human evolutionary trait of not wanting to die. You start realizing, hey, we tend to survive more things the more coordinated our combative efforts are. So you see it in modern law enforcement. It's all team-oriented. You lose when you're not a team. That is also why one of the counter strategies you should have is how to disorganize the opposing team, make them individuals. Well, team organization requires coordinated movements, efforts, ends, and that requires decision-making capacity. And you have no decision-making capacity in fear or anger or raw aggression. You just can't do it. So Budo has a very practical reason for why you don't want to have your dichotomy be I am aggressive and present, or I'm timid and yielding. Got it? Presence and yielding have this same emotional centeredness. They're not peaks and valleys. So yielding is not retreating. And going forward is not attacking. You know what I mean? Can you understand that? Both are aggressive. Both are attacking. But they're not, I gotta rage, or I'm
so gentle.
This is not it. If in the face of yin and yang, I am either or, and I'm not employing a concept of even keel centeredness, then I have not reconciled yin and yang internally. And then the art is external to me. I am emotionally clashing with this thing in either case. Just in one case I'm winning, and in the other case I'm losing. We're beyond winning and losing. We're just present. Your pulse, if you could use it as a metric, should not be different if you're doing Idimi or you're doing Tenkan. It should be the same pulse. And the feeling should be the same. The uke is should never be able to say, I really like your Tenkan version because it's so much softer. Do you know what? Do you get it? So if that's our goal, then we must train in a way where it is exposed when we're not doing that. And that's like things like, let them in, knock them down. Okay? When you take your Nagewaza to that level, then Ukemi has to rise to that same level of reconciliation. Because what are we going to want to do as Uke? Start not coming in. Right? Or we do the opposite. It's just some personalities. Like, damn, I keep pulling out, so I'm just going to go for it. But it's not present in either case. So when Nage works on their presence, then Uke must work on their presence. And you can do it the other way around too. If your Ukemi is sincere enough in this mission, that Nage will not be able to do the technique because everything that is going to be a leaky hose, a hole in a hose, is going to be exposed. Okay? So let's keep that in mind. And the way that we deal with this, because training can get rough, is if you are senpai, you try not to kill them. So You will throw them to the level of their ability. If you see them crash, lower the gear. Okay? If you're kohai, try to knock the hell out of them. That's your job. Take advantage of it. Try to hit them, throw them, pin them as hard as you can to reveal whether this is anger, fear, and this, or whether you can be present and still be martially effective. If at any point it's not working, it's getting too dangerous, you're getting triggered, well, one, stop getting triggered. Obviously, you're training incorrectly. But you can tell the other person, slow down, and then they will slow down. You have another fallback. I will watch it and go, hey, just like today, he's triggering you, you're triggering him. No. And I will make the training safe. Okay? Does everyone understand this process? But really, don't pretend that you're on the mat and you're taking care of them. Because you're not. You're just not pressuring yourself. Let the dojo system and all of its fallbacks and allowances take care of you. Take care of your partners. Keep the training where it needs to stay as best you can. All right. Any other questions or comments? Is there one over here? Are we good? Good. Let's line up.